Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to the evening session of our Day 1 Homeschool Africa Convention. It's an exciting time for me today, and I thank God for this privilege for being the convener of this, the very first homeschool convention in Africa. Okay, so we'll just get into today's matter. So my topic is grace to homeschool consistently and confidently. Yes, and some people will be wondering, how will that happen? Okay, just in a minute, I will tell you more about that. Okay. All right. So many times you find out that people will tell you, oh, Zee, I don't know how you do this. I think it's just meant for you. You are graced to do this. And one thing I would say is that knowledge precedes grace. Knowledge precedes grace. So grace is a product of knowledge. Okay, it's not something spooky that you have to catch. Grace is a product of knowledge. So you must understand that. So today I'll be sharing with you some of my convictions and truths that has helped me to stay consistent. So today I'll be sharing with you some of the truths or convictions that have helped me to stay consistent. Okay, so I have been homeschooling my children for about 8 years now, 8+, and it's been amazing because it has helped me to know them better. I'm able to do this not because I'm a Wonder Woman. I'm able to do this not because I am a superwoman. I am able to do this not because I am more disciplined than you are. Many might find that strange, but it's the truth. I'm able to do this because of what I know. I'm able to do this because of what I have prioritized. I'm able to do this because of what I don't want to see in the future. That's why I've decided to put my hand to the plow and do the job myself. So today, like I said, we'll be talking about grace to homeschool. There are several challenges, people perceive that homeschooling will bring, several of them. Some people think it will bring criticism. You're not wrong, actually, because we are more like round pegs in a square hole. So many people around you will, challenge you. People will think you want to make your children useless. People will think that you want to just spoil their future. And they will come to help you. They're not coming because they hate you. They're coming because they actually love you and your children. But one thing I understand is that results end insults. I'll take that again. Results end insults. So what you need to do is produce results with what you're doing. Not to impress anyone, but because whatever you're doing, you want to do it well. You're doing it because you want to get results. So on the journey to producing results, you will earn some insults. You will earn some unnecessary criticism. I've been through all sorts, actually, but guess what? It never perturbed me. Why? Because of my convictions and where my eyes is on. My eyes are on the goal every time. So no matter what you say to me, it doesn't move at all, because I've so soaked myself in the reality of my future and the understanding of where I want my children to be. So some of the things I do with my children, it's not because I copied it somewhere, oh, somebody is doing this now. It's because I'm just following, I'm just churning out plans as I have tabled out. Okay? So some people also are concerned, you know, and they perceive this as a challenge. How will my children transit to college or university? Is it possible? Yes, it is. Even in Nigeria here, it is. Because I have a homeschooling mom who has her 2 daughters in Redeemers University. And all you need to do to transit from secondary school, like we call it here, to university is to take your papers, WAEC, GCE to transit. Okay, for those that are not here, you need to take your IG and SE, yes, to transit. So that's what you need. And if you prepare your children, you go pick up the forms. There's no law that stops a homeschool child from taking forms. All you need to take your forms and enroll in a school, and your children will go to university. All right, if they made it. Okay, so discipline too is also a kind of concern and also perceived as a challenge. Yes, but the truth of the matter is homeschooling brings you face to face with the issues that you need to confront and work on. So instead of you don't have a chance to run off. I'm like, okay, let me sneak out. I'll sneak out early in the morning. I'll come back late in the night when the children are sleeping. You don't have a chance to do that. Many are doing this. And even in this pandemic situation, many felt trapped with their children. It's so sad, you know, where we have come to. Many feel so trapped and they do not understand that they have been preconditioned to see their children as burdens. All sorts of preconditioning because some people want to make money, some people want to make money out of it, some agenda is brooding somewhere, and you don't understand that some agenda is brooding. And these agendas that are being sat upon and begin to be sent out are to attack your children. As God is in need of our children because of the future, because God always puts the future in a seed, so is the enemy. So we need to rise up. That you feel that you can't discipline your children, you don't need to fold your hands about it. You need to get it done with. And I have a book, Train Up, the Intentional Parent's Guide to Raising Disciplined Adults. I tell you, it's a treasure. It's an amazing book. You need to get it. You need to get it. It will put a lot of things into perspective. You know, it's better we start these things now than when our children are older. It's better we fix whatever we need to fix, because honestly, you are just procrastinating the trouble day. That's all. So face it head on. Another thing is organization. Many people perceive that this is going to be a challenge. And all this I'm talking about, I talk deeply on them in my course, Homeschool Like a Pro. Organization, Pam Banhill also is top-notch on this one. Honestly, she has it. So it's something that you want to follow her, digest her materials. She has all amazing materials on her podcast and also on her YouTube channel. All right, so go check out for Pam on Google Palm. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. So I say awesome information, Zee. Okay, so let's get in. So let me say a little bit about myself. Yes, I partner with you to maximize your children's potentials. It's something that gives me joy. And honestly, homeschooling is not all about me. Homeschooling is one of the tools I introduce to parents to use. So get your hands on it. Forget the titles for a minute. These tools will help you. They will change so many things about your parenting. I tell you. So it's a tool that I use to help parents maximize their children's potentials. Okay, so I founded the HENA, which is Home Educators Network and Academy, about 3 years ago. And there we have bettered all sorts of initiatives. We have the Train Up a Child community, which is on Facebook. Some of us are there. We have the Readers Raising Book Lovers community, which is on WhatsApp. Some of us are there. We also launched the Train Up a Child conference this year, January 2020. It was amazing. And the theme of the conference was Raising the Creative Child. Okay, if you wish to watch it, you can send me a message. Okay, all right. So it's on my page on Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on my website. Okay, zeeobi.com. It's on my website. You can as well search it out and you will find it. Okay, so I am an experienced early childhood educator. And it's so beautiful. I love early childhood. Why? Because it just seems like it's that time where you can put in 8 beans and see beans. It's that time where whatever you put in will come out the same way. You can predict what you're putting in because the children haven't had that mind of their own and all of that. So it's a very unique time. But many parents begin this journey of parenting at the age of maybe 8, 9, 10, which is a big mistake. It's a huge mistake. In fact, parenting begins in the womb. It begins with a plan for your child even before you conceive them. Okay? Let's just look like God for a minute. The Bible says that he knew us before he formed us in our mom's womb. That's exactly what it should be. Yes, that's exactly what it should be. So we need to have that mindset. I remember that my children, as interesting as it would sound, I got my first son's name while. Now, this is not to make anybody feel bad, but also to encourage some who are yet to bear children to know that this parenting can start even when you are not yet a parent. So I got his name even before I ever got married. I got his name when I was in school because I was really interceding and really wanting to know more about the future and this parenting thing that God was opening my eyes into as being a mighty tool in reformation in our continent. Okay, so like I said, I got his name, and surprisingly, that's the name he bears today. So this parenting thing is such a tax that we should stop treating it with kids' gloves. We should not joke about it. It's not a joke at all. We need to get more serious about this thing. It's not a joke. It's a project. It's a big project. I tell you, and project has the conception stage. So you need to conceive with knowledge. Know what is going on. I'm emphasizing this because I know there are moms here who are still pregnant. There are moms here who have not even conceived, that don't have any issues. There are people here that don't yet have children. Know this. It's never too early to start this journey. Okay? So we have done amazing things with parents. Over 100 parents have gone through our academy, and have gotten amazing results. Okay, you can also follow me on Facebook as Zee Obi. My Facebook profile, my Facebook page is Zee Obi 2. Then on Instagram, Z_Obi. Then on YouTube, where I will be sharing more and more on homeschooling from now on. So we are going to be sharing more and more. So if you haven't subscribed, you want to subscribe so that you always be notified and you can get more tips on this journey. All right, so we just head on into, yes, one truth that's really helped me and one deep conviction that's really helped me is that education is not equal to school. Many of us have believed this, and this is the reason why we think we should cross our hands and watch our children evolve. Education is not equal to school, okay? We have a kind of education that goes on in school, which is majorly academics, all right? But education, you cannot reduce education to school. For example, schools are closed today. Is education not still going on? So, but for a long time, we have taught this way, you know, that education is equals to school. So many people think, you know, it's just done somewhere. Education is not even equals to home. There is no place that can contain it. And that's why as homeschoolers, we do a lot of field trips, we move around, we interact a lot, because exposure is education. Whatever you're exposing your child to, even though you're not traveling, even within your environment, even those who come to your house, that's exposure. The TV you switch on, that is exposure. Do you understand? So you are exposing your children's mind every day. So you need to be more deliberate about what you're exposing them to. If education is not equal to school, that means it's happening every time. Education is as old as man. I'll say that again. Education is as old as man. How do you know, Zee? Yes. Adam knew, okay, what's education? Education is the acquisition or transference of, or is acquisition or transferring knowledge. Now, Adam named the animals and the plants, and he transferred that knowledge to his children. So you can see that family is actually the what God instituted to house education. How many things are you passing down to your children? What do you know? And what are your values? Have you passed them to your children? Many of us are more competent than the people we put our children or put our children in their care. Many of us know better. But it's funny. It's so ironical. And that is why I said I just have to speak up. Because when I get people into the discipline clinic, I run a discipline clinic. So if you have discipline issues, you can get to the root of the problem. Sometimes when I interact with parents and all that, I can just see the problem clearly. The association and where and what you are exposing your children to is the major challenge. So can we start from there? Can we begin with those issues and clear them off? And you'll find out that you will have a smooth sail. You have a smooth sail. So education is one of the laws of the universe God hid for man to search out. Until we understand this, we will reduce man's potential to certificates and classrooms. Education is the law that converts life to living. Allowing children to learn at their own speed will produce a happier child, honestly. And that's why even when Debbie Paul was up today, she spoke about how confident and happy her children are. You know, the truth is, when education is individualized, you will find that you will be meeting the children at the point of their needs. And homeschooling is individualized education. So when you're meeting the children at the point of their needs, you know, you find out that these children will be happy because you're not insensitive to their needs. You're meeting them at the point of their needs. So they're excited about it. They're happy. They bring more to the table like that. Some of us, that's what's going on with your children. They're unhappy, but you feel that if they don't go to a school, they will end up destroyed. Some of us are in areas that we cannot afford the school fees. You have an option. You have an option. Because the truth is, until we start thinking this way, some people are missionaries, they are in rural areas, there's no good school there, but they feel they have no options but just to keep on sending the children to those schools. Okay, so I've come to tell you there are options, and the truth is that education is not equal to school. So you want to be careful about what is educating your children or who is educating your children. Many of us, our children are into very passive education. So there's a lot of junk they're collecting from TV. There's a lot of junk they're collecting from the environment, but you don't even know. Okay? All right, next. There's no time. I tell you this one, there's no time. Remember, you're going to give account of your children. Yes, you give account of your children. There's no time to say, oh, I'm so busy, let me just take it easy. Your children will turn 2, they will turn 3, they will turn 4, they will turn 5, 6, and it just keeps on going. They do not wait for you. Children grow really fast. Our children's formative years is a crucial time of their life. So we need to be on that, we need to be there. We need to help them. Okay, your children they're born for a purpose. When we start thinking like that, we will realize that there's no time. There's no time. They're born for you. Are meant to prepare them for purpose. Sometimes I wonder what Mary, the mother of Jesus, what how the knowledge that she knew that her child was going to be a savior, how it positioned her. Many of us need to go back and begin to ask God, what is the purpose of this child? It will help you fashion a vision. It will help you fashion the vision for your family. So you will know the kind of children you are actually raising. And they are not to be toiled with. Because I tell you, whatever you do lackadaisically, you find out that you lose out on it. Somebody will come or something will come and snatch it out of your hand. So there's really no time. Children grow fast, so we need to be very, very, very deliberate about all their milestones. Very deliberate. Teach your children the word of God. Teach your children God's word. Okay, for those of us who are Christian, it's very important. We need to imbibe in them a culture that loves God, because out there, there is fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. Don't do passive education in your home. Don't let things that you have not deliberately put into your home teach your children. Okay? All right. I heard one time, somebody, I heard one time someone, he's an ex-Satanist priest, who was talking about how when he was there, some of the agendas, that one of it is that they're going to infiltrate education. So you want to know, oh, it's nice, I'm putting it for my children. It teaches my children one thing or the other. So it's nice, let me put it up for them. You need to understand the spirit behind. Education or teaching a child you can transfer. It's a transference, okay, of not only knowledge, but spirit. You want to understand these things and don't be careless about it. No matter what that thing is that is out there that is educating your children, you want to really scrutinize it. Know what it is. So they want to infiltrate education. And another thing is they also want to make good, bad look like good. And that's why you have shows like Vampirina. So many of us need to sit up when you have gone and done your goals, when you have downloaded what God wants, the purpose of your children, you will know that, what this child I am raising is not the child that I will raise anyhow. Actually, no child to be raised anyhow. So you will be more deliberate about it. You'll be more deliberate about it. I tell you, if you're not deliberate about your children, somebody is. People are in the negative way are deliberate about your children. Okay? All right, so I will just read from Deuteronomy 6, verse from 5. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. And those words which I command you today shall be in your heart. So first of all, as a parent, this words need to be in your heart. Okay, when it's in your heart, just like we said that create an atmosphere for learning at home. Let learning be everywhere. Let your children just drink learning in the atmosphere. So let's see it, even in the Bible. It says, you shall teach them diligently. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk to them when you sit in your house, when you walk in the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on their hand, and they shall be a frontlet between their eyes. You shall write them down on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. You can imagine, always reading the scripture just re-emphasize creating an atmosphere for learning at home to me. You need to be deliberate. If the TV needs to go on, it should be something that is teaching something where you want your children to go. Not just science, not just maths, but something that they will be able to stand the evil of the age. It's very important. We're raising children who might actually denounce God, God forbid. But if we keep on letting passive knowledge get to them, without us being on top of our game, then at the end of the day, we'll be wondering what is going on. Another truth that has helped me is that familiarity is an advantage, not a disadvantage. So some people will say, my children will not take me seriously. For every educator what they are sold, ask them. You will find that familiarity is very important. They bond with the children before teaching them. If I'm a new teacher in the classroom, I spend time knowing my children and bonding and getting familiar with them. So as a parent, you have it on your lap, and you'll be hearing cliches like this, and you start echoing it. That's not true. Many of us, what we need to do is we need to begin to understand our children. Familiarity is meant to be an asset to you. It's not a disadvantage. Anyone you love listening to, you find out anyone that you're familiar with, you like, you will love to listen to that person. And that's why peer pressure goes on, because peers like to listen to peers. They like to listen to themselves because there's a bond. So if you have that in your home, you want to nurture it and begin to learn more practical ways to help your children. Familiarity is not the problem. Familiarity is not the problem. Most of us, we don't know how to play. So you called a child, come, let's do this. And the child stood up and started running, maybe a 3-year-old. Can you stand up and start running too? That's what should happen. Stand up and start running and make it again. So many of us are so stiff, and we think familiarity is the problem. No, the way you learn is the problem. Also, there's this cliche that's always around, that people feel children are burdens. So people say these things casually, and say, oh, this child's wahala is too much. This child will not kill me. Say things like that, please. When you're on a mission like this, with such a God's general in your care, you don't say things like that. Most of these things are cliche. The other day, I saw a mom who was selling something to me, and she had this baby. He was, let's say, 1 year, some months. And this baby kept on throwing something on the floor. He was sitting on a table, and he kept on throwing on the floor, and the mom would pick it, and he would throw it again, and the mommy would pick it. So the mom was just like, this child, your problem is too much. It's too much. Come on, let school start and you go. Let me go and drop you in school. And I just laughed and I said, Mommy, which child? I'm looking for the child you're talking about. I started looking everywhere under the table and all that. She started laughing. She said, is this one? I said, really? His trouble is too much. Does this child have trouble? And I now began to explain to her the development of children and what was going on in the child's mind. While the child was throwing that, he wanted to hear the sound. It was nice. And all she needed to do is to carry that child and put him on the ground where he can drop it by himself and enjoy himself. You can see that knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Your children are not burdens. Stop singing those songs, come and go to school to their face. You are telling them that they are burdens. You are telling them they are disturbing you. You are telling them so many things. And truly, the children of today are already anti-family. They're already learning how to disconnect from family. They're already learning it. So you will see a young boy will grow up into a man and he will be disconnected from his family. He will get so busy. A young woman will get married and she will be disconnected. And in old age, these people begin to look for their offsprings to get closer to them. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen like that. The real you will reap what you sow is in this instance. Not your little child that is innocent and maybe doing things like children. You will not tell the child you will reap what you sow. No, it's not the one. It's you. Well, however you're training them, you will see it in the future because you have come to a place of understanding and maturity. They are not yet at that point. Okay? Another truth that helped me is parents are part of the educational system. Don't see yourself less. You are. And that's why you should get more trained. You should get knowledge. So if you are part-time homeschooling, you go for those PTA meetings, you bring good thoughts to the table. You bring good words to the table, not funny things like, why did you give my children book? And in other schools, they are giving children flags and school bags, but you're giving my children books. A parent who understands the value of books will not say something like that. Will not. Some school owners understand this thing and they really want to move into some unconventional practices, but some parents are the ones that keep on stalling this thing. Until our world actively recognizes and values parents as part of our educational system, we remain far from the truth that can revolutionize our world in a positive direction. Yes, we are far from the truth. So we must understand that. Carry yourself like that. Many of us are meant to be betting curriculums, even curriculums that will assist us in Africa. Yes, many of us have that skill as parents. And why did I say parents? Why? Because you understand the needs of these children. Because when you stay with these children, you begin to really observe them and understand how they think. You begin to know why they think the way they think. So you're the best. You're in the very good position to be advisors of curriculums or create curriculums yourself. Honestly, if you are out there and you have something to bring to the table as regards curriculum making, please reach out to me. We really need to do something. We need to write our stories as Africans. We need to write our stories. It's about that time. We need to give our children our past history. So we are jumping on so many things. Meanwhile, that's why in the twinkle of an eye, every young child in Africa is ready to relocate. Yes, because number one, they don't even understand their past history. They don't even have a kind of bond with it, so they don't care. They're ready to just swim off. So who will build the system? Who will build the system? Another thing is make your priorities right. I think I've been saying that in different ways. Your values will influence your priorities. Your values will influence your priorities. You can't tell your children, oh, we put God first in this house, but you don't show it. In nothing you do, you don't show it. You don't show that you put your values first. You don't, you put God first. It's not shown. So we need to make our priorities. Once you make your priorities right, what are the things that comes first? These children, within 12 years, you find out that they can be kind of independent. I don't mean like sending them off, but they can do certain things on their own. And you will have your time to yourself. Even right now, at least my children are here, they're playing, and I'm doing stuff. It was not like that when I had a baby. It was not the same. So as they grow up like that, and as you're training them to be able to sit and be able to help themselves, they grow onto maturity, and you can have breathing space for those other dreams that you have. There was something, a video I watched some time back, and it was about a young girl who her mom, okay, so her mom was telling her about, okay, I think she asked the mom a question. I can't really quite remember, but she asked her mom a question that, why do you leave me with the maid, and you cannot leave your jewelry with the maid? Now that girl taught a big lesson in that video. Many of us will say our children are treasures, but we don't act that way. We are ready to ship them to anyone, even though that person is a seemingly pedophile. We are ready. We are ready. Okay? So that's something we need to think about. Make your priorities right. One thing that will shape your priorities is what God says about your children and about our roles as parents. Okay? Children learn better when you use platforms. So most times these platforms that we try to feel that it's a burden, no, the child should not do it. I tell you that children learn better using platforms. Now, some of these platforms I'm talking about is play, chores, responsibility, farming, caring for a pet, cooking, books, and volunteering. You know, parents must understand this. So when these opportunities show up, stop shooing the children away, because these children are finding concrete. They're learning from concrete. This is concrete, not abstract now. Academic is more of abstract. And academic is needful. You know, it was until I started homeschooling, I really understood what academics was. Before, I thought it was very unnecessary. I thought it was very unnecessary. Why? Because we were taught theories that we could not apply. But later on, when I started homeschooling my children, I started using amazing resources, I found out that academics are just life skills. That's all. So your children will need life skills, but it must be taught from a place of concrete. So many times in the home, this opportunity comes up by themselves. Your children are cooking, they can learn measurements. Your children are doing chores, they're learning responsibility. They're learning to be accurate, they're learning excellence. Your children are playing, they're researching, and they're doing so much that's expanding their mind. Okay? Your children are volunteering, they are understanding the things, the major things that make life worth it. They're learning leadership. Your children are reading books, they're learning. Please, let's not joke with this thing. And this one thing that we had in Africa. I always tell people that homeschooling is not new to Africa. We used to call it home training, right? Yes, and this one truth that has helped me too. So most of the things that I got inspired most of the ways I got inspired to homeschool my children, I started digging deep to the way our African parents used to do it back then before we got so busy. And I got so inspired. Children were allowed to climb trees, they would go to the stream, they would work on the farm. These are amazing platforms. They will work with their parents on any job the parents had. They saw their clothes themselves. They saw their parents do many domestic work at home. So these were platforms that the children were learning. I know of a boy who came from the village, but I tell you, within 2 months, this boy came without speaking English. Within 2 months, he started speaking English even more than me. I tell you. Why? Because the major platforms are already prepared for him. So when your children are playing, please don't think they are just joking with life. They are not serious. You are not serious. Your own is to try and provide them with materials that will shape their play. Your children are part of your purpose. This is another truth that has helped me. Your children are part of your purpose. The fastest way to reduce evil in society is not to contribute to it. Yes. So before you go out and help that boy that is abused, that is abusing drug, or that one that sleeps with children, start from your house. Yes, we need to start from our homes so that our children will not contribute to the statistics. Because I've seen many people saving the whole world while their children are lost. What will it profit a man? I tell you, when you lose the souls of your children. Okay? So, I think I've come to the end. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for joining me today. It's such a pleasure. And I'm waiting for questions. I'll just take 2 questions because I need to get our keynote speaker in. Okay? Can I find any questions?
That she need job for a book.
Watch the interview.
Yes, can I get any questions?
Okay,
let me just quickly check the chat. I have so many comments here, but let me just rush to questions. Okay. Okay, many comments. Thank you so much all. Any questions, please? Beautiful women, and if there's any man here, can I have your questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Please, I kind of have a little problem. My almost 2-year-old son, he cannot eat without screen. And this
He
cannot eat without watching any rhymes on the screen or phone. Okay. And it started when we changed to solid, because he refused to eat anything. Then a pediatrician then told me to distract him with cartoons or those rhymes. Then I started using cocoa melon, but till date he would not eat anything without those cocoa melon or anything. And if you don't give him the cocoa melon, there's no food. He can stay all day without food. So
wow.
It's
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Yes, actually, when you started distracting, what you were meant to be told was you needed, it's not meant to be something you were going to do for so long, okay? If you won 1 day, 2 days, you should have like stopped, stop it. And, just before that time, before you stop it, you start talking to his psyche. Our children need to be talked to, okay? But this is something that we can talk one-on-one. So try to reach out to me and we'll definitely get to the root of that matter. And it will be history by the grace of God. Okay, so I don't want to spend much time. All right, so any other question? Let's just get to, is Pam in? Okay, so we will go off now and come back quickly so that we'll come back immediately, please. It's already 6, so we are coming back immediately. All right.